Hi everyone, Mary Cowan here from Pinery Paper Crafts. It is Sunday at just after 3. Not my typical day to go live, but I did miss Friday. So I was in my craft room playing with some new products and a really cool fun fold. So I thought I would jump on and just share what I'm doing and maybe share some of the new products that we'll have available. Starting on May 1st for customers. If you're a demo, then you were able to already pre-order some of these materials, which is why I have some. So I'm just making sure that I have some. So I can see any comments. If you happen to find me, please pop on and say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I will post this later to my YouTube channel, so if you're watching me on my YouTube channel, thank you very much. And let's get started. So I was looking at a card that Mary Knabe made, and I thought, oh, I've made that design before, and I'm just finding all the things I need. It would be a fun one to showcase some of the new products. So I don't know what this fun fold is called, but I had made it with the one horse open sleigh paper. I had a whole bunch of samples. This is the only one I could find. So it's a cool fun fold, but very simple to do. So this piece just pops up and then it opens like this, and you can write your message here. So it's very fun to do and really quite simple. You just have to make sure that you're doing your diagonal the right way, because I did it wrong yesterday and that wasn't good. So here's the one I made a long time ago, and then I'm going to show you two that I cased exactly from Mary Knabe. I'll put a link to her website in the description of this video. So this one is using one of our new papers coming up called Mediterranean Blooms. So it is gorgeous with all the orange blossoms and lemons and lemon blossoms. I have tried growing lemons here. I'm in Ottawa, Canada. Not very successfully. I did have lemons, but they weren't really that great. But all the products that I'm showing you are from the new annual catalog. And as I said, it goes live to customers on May the 1st, which is not very far away. So this is the catalog. I can't show you inside until it goes live, but trust me, there are many beautiful things that you'll want to get your hands on. So this is the card that I made with the Mediterranean Blooms paper. It's just so pretty and so simple when I show you. And I always like to, when I show you the large piece of 12 by 12, if there's little pieces along the edge, I always cut those out as well so I can use them on the inside of my cards. So this is using this piece of designer series paper. And then for this paper, there are two designs that the whole page is, this one is lemons, and then the other one is oranges. There are dies to go with these to cut them out, but I don't have the dies yet because I only have this paper because I won it at the last conference. So I fussy cut them out, but they're pretty easy to cut. I do love fussy cutting, so sitting in front of the TV doing a bit of fussy cutting to me is very relaxing. So with these two sheets, you could get quite a few cards. So you'll see the little pieces on the edge that aren't quite full. I still cut those out and I use them as I showed you on the inside of the cards. So that's the orange and lemon blossoms, and on the back, because it's Mediterranean, it has all these beautiful mosaics in these beautiful tones of blue. Stampin' Up colors are Balmy Blue, Night of Navy, let's see what else. Doesn't say any other shades of blue, but I think this is a different shade of blue as well. Anyways, those colors all coordinate with our inks and our papers, which is why I love Stampin' Up! Products, because everything coordinates so beautifully. So let's just put that over here. The other one we're going to be using today is called, well, we're going to be using a couple more, but one of them is called Take to the Sky. And it is a whole suite of products it's got die cuts for airplanes and other things. I just have the paper. But one of the fun things about this paper is one of the sheets has all of these really cool elements that you can cut out and use on your card fronts. So I'm going to use actually this one, and when I make this card you'll see how I've just cut this out and added it to this front piece. Okay, so that's Take to the Sky. Then there's a couple of other ones I'm going to show you, but first of all let's do the other one. So this was lemons, and now we'll do the oranges. So here's how simple this is. I meant to bring my paper cutter over to show you, but I will just explain. So this whole piece is just your regular 8.5 by 5.5. I'll go grab my cutter. And then you take your cutter, and for the front I want the angle going like this. So you simply take it and you put your fold in here and your other corner in there, and then make sure it still stays aligned. I did make a mistake on one of them. So once it's aligned, I don't like to go into, well, this one's fine, but sometimes when it's a diagonal cut I'll start in the middle and cut up and then cut down. So just like that. So that's how you cut your front piece, and then just keep the other piece for scraps. And then you need, so this is 8.5 by 5.5, and then you need another piece that's 3 by 8.5. So you score it in half. So it takes the most of one sheet of cardstock to make one card. So this one is 3 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. Okay, so that's a fun one. And then you take your piece of designer series paper that is 4 by 5.25, which is just 1/4 inch smaller than this piece. And then you take it and gently, just pretending I haven't done it yet, line it up in the track, corner to corner. So for this one, because if you start up here and just go down, you might squish that corner. So put your cutting blade into the middle and then cut up and cut down. And voila. But for this one, make sure you're cut this way, not this way, like I did the first one. You just need to take your piece of paper, your base, and look at it and think, okay, it's got to go like this. So I need to make sure I cut this way. That's the only thing that you need to remember, really. I'm going to do a blog post on this, so you'll have the instructions and this video. And then I have two pieces of, so this one, remember, was 3 by 4.25. So this is 2 3/4 by 4. And I have one for the front, which I've already stamped on this one, and one for inside. So let's go ahead and do this part first. So I'm just going to glue this to the front. So for this one I used a piece of white. Other ones I'm going to show you I used designer series paper, and then one I used that little piece from the designer series paper, the cutout of the planes. So this goes inside. For this one I took one of the little lemon pieces, edge pieces. But for this one I'm just going to take a little strip. I think this is 3/4 inch. It's just a scrap. And I'll put it right like that. Okay, now I'm not going to put this on yet, although I know where it's going to go. I could put it on. I'll wait. Now, one other option that you have is, and I'm just going to do it like this. For this one, I did put a piece of white inside, but I don't really think it's necessary. So you can just go ahead and do what I'm going to do for this one and just glue it right onto the paper. Now I want it to, I'm going to do this one first. The only thing about this is both sides are so pretty. I don't like using it, so I'll just have to buy more. So I'm just going to lay this right snug against my cut, my cut line. Making sure it's straight. Okay, that's perfect. And now I'll take this one and put it right like that. So I do want to see if I can get it to line up. When you use the white glue, you have the ability to move it a little bit. It is messy though, I will admit. Don't really want it overlapping. There. So we have that. And now we have our front piece. So we're just going to put glue on the back. Now you will notice that for this one I have it down a little bit, whereas in this one I had it right at the top. And I actually think I like it down a little bit. So remember, you got glue all over here. So you want to put it where you think it might look nice. Now, as I'm doing this, if I did this again, I would put this piece on this side so that we don't have, it just, I don't know. I think I would. Okay. Now I'm going to add our oranges, and I'm going to do that with dimensionals. So these are just fussy cut right out of the paper. And I know some people will put a lot more dimensionals than I'm going to put, but for now I'm just going to put this many, which for me is a lot. So then decide how you want it, making sure that it's not hanging out over the edge of your card. There we go. And not covering up your sentiment. Then a glue dot. I did do a double bow with linen thread. And we'll put that right there. I would also go back on this one. I did add Wink of Stella to all the blossoms. So I would go back and add Wink of Stella to all the blossoms just to make it look pretty. All right, so those are the two from the Mediterranean Blooms paper. And I think they're just beautiful and really don't require a lot of extra work. It's just the designer series paper, and a quick little fun fold. Very pretty. Not sure why this one doesn't fold as flat, but anyways, let's put those up there. So those are our first two, and now we're going to do one with the Take to the Sky. So there's that little piece that I added, and I did have to trim it down a little bit, but you could make this piece a little bit bigger, but I just trimmed it down a little bit so it would fit. So it was 3 3/4 by 4. I'm doing a masculine card in May, and I was saying to the ladies who were at my class yesterday, I find the masculine cards the trickiest to do. I don't know why. I really like flowers. But this paper, you'll be able to make a lot of great masculine cards. We do have quite a few good masculine sets right now. So remember what I said on the last one where it was, I put it over here. Let's try putting it over here. That would be cute too. Can't really do that one that way. Let's just do it like I was going to. There we go. So this piece of paper looks like a topography map. That side would be cool too, but I thought with that and that, it's a little too many planes. But you could do it that way, but if you do want to do it that way, you would have to have cut it the opposite way. So again, I'm going to close this up and line it up so that it's right at the fold. It's not quite straight, so I have to, there we go. And then we'll do the other one. You just want to match up the corners really so it looks like a single piece of paper. And then we'll take this one. I didn't do sentiment on this one because it's so versatile. I'll wait and see what I'm going to use it for. It would be good for graduation, for birthday, especially graduation, and have a sentiment, something like reach for the sky or... All right, so there's our take to the sky one. So there's the difference when I put the paper on this side as opposed to this side. I kind of like that. Okay, so there's our second one. I'm going to save that one to the last because it's got a lot of pieces. Then I used our, so for the next two cards I've used Country Birdhouse and Country Flowers, which are two new stamp sets and coordinating dies. There's a whole suite of products for these ones. And I'll show you some of the other things. So I made one with the birdhouse and one with the flowers. And you can see all the dies for the birdhouse, and the Country Flowers has tons of dies. You can see all of them. And I love dies that cut out more than one flower at a time. It's got the pot, the little stool, the teapot, and the urn, I guess we'll call it. So those are really fun. So that's what I used for these ones, for the next two cards. And I used some other new paper. This one is called Country Lace, and I don't have it laminated yet because I'm still waiting for my basic beige paper that I forgot to order. So when I get that, I'll finish this up. But look how beautiful these patterns are. Just gorgeous. So that's Country Lace, and then we have these gorgeous Country Wood papers. They're 12 by 12, which is great. Last time we had wood, a whole collection of wood papers, it was 6 by 6, but I much prefer 12 by 12. Anyways, awesome papers. So I've used those in both of these cards. And all right, get all the pieces out here so I don't lose them. So let's put together our little front piece. So I do have, this is for the inside. You could also stamp some of the little flowers on the inside or put some of the little ones, the little dies that I just showed you. So for this one, we're going to use white on the inside, a little strip of the pattern paper, then on the front, I'm going to add another coordinating pattern paper, and I just stamped Best Friend Ever. I love that. It's so like best friend ever, period, period, period. So that's going to go on the front. Again, 2 3/4 by 4, because this piece is 3 by 8.5. So scored at 4 1/4. So then I have my little vessel, and then I have my cute little flowers that I did color with my blends. I added Wink of Stella. You can probably see that. I'm going to glue this one down and then pop the flowers up. So I'm just going to put it down lightly and then check. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so that'll go there, and then this will go with dimensionals. So you can see how this one layout, you can use so many different products with it. All right, let's get that where we want it. All right, and you could add some bling to it as well, of course. But I just really want to show you the fun fold and how simple it is to create many different cards. So let's go again and line it up, making sure it's straight. Then we'll do our bottom, or our other diagonal, I guess we could say. Isn't this paper pretty? And then we'll take our little flap so country, what's this called? Country flowers. So I'm just looking and eyeballing. Then I'll close it, look, and see if I like it. Yeah, I do. I was deciding where I could put a little bow, but it didn't seem appropriate, so this one's not going to have a bow. But look how cute that is. And so simple. Last one. This one is featuring the Birdhouse, and it has the most pieces, let me tell you, because this is so fun to play with. Now, I will show you one of the other new products is an embossing folder called Eyelet, 3D Eyelet, and I thought that would be fun to put the Birdhouse on, but I thought it was too much, so I'll save this for something else. I just went back and cut another just regular one. So this one is for the inside. I don't think I did a little strip for this one, but we can, you could add something, you could add a little bird or whatever you like. And if you have a bigger message to write, that's good. So for the front, we have our Birdhouse. And it comes with so many fun elements. So it's got a little peak. Let me just show you. It's got the little peak, then another little strip, and then this little scalloped piece. So what I've done is I did this in wood grain, I did this in petal pink, and I did this one in the designer series paper. Now, in hindsight, it might have been good to use a adhesive sheet when doing this, but I didn't. So the way I thought I would try to assemble this is to put the glue on first and hope that I get it where I need it. So let's put this one on first. There we go. This one on next. I think that's going to be good. Just going to get my pokey tool. My tweezers would be helpful right now. And then our little scalloped piece. So they're just like inlays. They don't overlap each other. Well, I'm sure you could, but... Okay, so we have all those pieces. Then I took this one for the bottom. I did have this same one, but it was a bit... I didn't like it. I wanted it a bit darker. I do have quite a few birdhouses. I was out making sure they were all clean. And then there is a die cut for this piece, and when it die cuts that, it cuts out this little tiny circle. I might need my take a pick tool for this. There we go. It also has a little bird, so I just did a little blue bird. And you could have it sitting here, or you could have it, I think I'm going to put him down here somewhere. Like maybe sitting right there. So, I thought I had another piece to put behind here, but I guess not. Alright, so we're just going to put it on the pink. Now you could put something behind here so it doesn't show through. But let's just go ahead and put it on like this. Just gonna go and find a little piece coordinating with that. I'm thinking I want to have something other than the pink. And I thought I did. And not in this one. But the thing about it is it needs to be the whole size, which maybe is why I didn't. Let me try this. Yeah, that's the piece that I had that I misplaced. Okay, so let's just put this. You can see that one on the that one is beautiful too, but this is too busy. I just want something very subtle. This could have been a bit bigger, but that's okay. And that'll be better for the background to see through the hole. You could put just a little piece of designer series paper there if you wanted to. So I'm going to put that right like that, and I'm going to put him right there, and I think I'll pop him or her up. Let's say her. And that's all done. So let's go ahead and put this piece together. So hopefully you see how versatile this fun fold is, and you also see some of the new products that you're going to be wanting to get your hands on. So we'll fold that. So the catalog goes live to customers on May the 1st. If you are a demo, you can pre-order some of the products now, the ones I'm showing you, except the Mediterranean blooms you can't order yet. I got that as a door prize. Slide that up a bit. Perfect. Now, this one doesn't have a sentiment either, but there are some cute sentiments in the set. I'll show you in a second. So I'm going to see if that's where I like it. That's good. So in the Birdhouse, hoping you have the best day ever, happy birthday, hello friend. Any of those would be cute. But we'll just leave it blank for now. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards shown using the Country Flowers and Country Birdhouse coordinating dies and stamps. And then the other ones are using the Mediterranean Blooms paper, as well as the Take to the Sky paper, designer series paper, all available to customers on May the 1st. So let's go back and look at what we did. So we have our Birdhouse. This is petal pink, by the way. Get those out of the way. Whoopsie. And then we have our, so Country Birdhouse, Country Flowers, I want to say florals, but it's flowers. Then we have our Take to the Sky, our lemons, and our oranges. Do you have a favorite? I really like them all, but I want to say I really love this Mediterranean Blooms paper, and I think I'll be using that quite a bit. So thank you for joining me today. I do appreciate it if you like or share my video. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so that you will know when I post a new video. And the instructions and measurements will be found on my blog, mariannecowan.com. Thank you for joining me today, and have a great rest of your weekend.